Well, the Mayan calendar had always ended up till the year 2012. So some of these people had started predicting that 2012 would be the last year for us as a human race. Now we can never be sure. I mean, dinosaurs, the mightiest beings on earth, they were even destroyed by just an asteroid attack. So you never know when will be your last day. What if today is your last day? What do you want to do, or what can you do? Basically, there is not much we can do if there is an asteroid coming hurtling across our way. But then, if I get to know that I can live for only one more week, what would be my bucket list? Okay, forget about me. What would be the bucket list of the entire human race? What would we want to do? Wouldn't we want to leave some kind of relics or some kind of symbols for future generations or for other intergalactic beings who might be there in the universe? They are somewhere out there, but we do not know yet. So wouldn't we want to send some kind of message across to them? But what message can you give to an intergalactic being whose evolution has been totally different from yours? We do not know what language they understand. Probably they might not even understand any language. So how do you communicate with such beings? Welcome to another episode of Intloq, and in this episode, stay hooked for the answer to this very precise question. So we've seen in several movies that aliens are contacting us or we are contacting aliens. Be it Hollywood movies like E.T., Avatar, or even Bollywood movies like Koi Mil Gaya. But have you ever thought one simple question? How do you communicate with an alien? I mean, we don't know whether they will be even understanding English. For one thing, we don't even know whether they have the same senses of touching, smelling, seeing, hearing as us. I mean, what if we write a message for them and the material on which the message is written, upon coming in contact with their body, gets destroyed immediately? Have you ever thought that simple thing? I mean, forget about that. Think about one thing. If you even start writing a letter, how do you even begin writing that? I mean, in what language would you actually write that letter? I mean, all these English alphabets like A, B, C, D, or any other regional languages, even numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, units of measurement like kilometers, miles, light years, kilograms, all these things were made up by us. We were the people who came up with a numeral system. So how can we be even sure that intergalactic beings out there are intelligent? Or forget about being intelligent, how can we even be sure that if they are intelligent, they can actually understand these units of measurement which were made up by us? So how do you even start communicating with such people? On September 5th, 1977, NASA launched Voyager 1 from Cape Canaveral, Florida. The Voyager 1 contains greetings from the people of Earth to the alien life form that may someday find us. On the record is a collection of images and sounds, a short glimpse into the soul of Mother Earth. But since aliens probably won't know what to do with the phonograph record, NASA had to provide a set of instructions on the record cover. But what could they say? How could you even begin to communicate with a race that has evolved totally separately from us? Therefore, scientists at NASA had to come up with a code that anyone living in the universe might be able to decipher. To do that, they started with the most commonly found molecule in the universe, hydrogen. This diagram illustrates the transition between the two lowest phases of hydrogen. Any spacefaring civilization will probably understand the properties enough to know that when this transition happens, radiation is released with a wave period of 0.7 nanoseconds. Okay, the next are the set of instructions on how to make the record work. Assuming aliens will not have a record player, NASA has included one on the craft with the needle already in place. The markings are the binary code indicating the speed you need to turn the record to play it correctly. Translated, we get around 5.1 billion hydrogen transition wave periods, or about 3.6 seconds per rotation for the stylus to go from one marking to the next marking. At this speed, you will start hearing greetings in 55 different languages. Sounds of wind, surf, thunder, followed by music, and then you will be hearing sounds of crickets, birds, and then images which have been pieced together. Now these images are different kinds of images from our day-to-day life. In totality, there are 116 images. Now when these images are pieced together from the recorded signals, a replica will be formed. Now NASA has already included the replica of the first image on the record to ensure that the viewer understands that he is playing the record correctly. Now this is a pulsar map. Now this pulsar map will give information on the location of the Earth by triangulating Earth's distance from various neutron stars, or rather collapsed stars that give off pulses of radiation or pulsars. Without much to erode the golden record in space, it is estimated to survive 1 billion years. Currently, the Voyager 1 is at a distance of 22 billion kilometers in the constellation Ophiuchus. Voyager 1 was solely based on the hope that someday some civilization with a higher understanding will learn about the species that once inhabited Earth. Till then, the Voyager 1 will just be doing one thing: hurtling aimlessly across the indefinite space that it is in.
As the Secretary General of the United Nations, an organization of 147 member states who represent almost all of the human inhabitants of the planet Earth, I send greetings on behalf of the people of our planet. We step out of our solar system into the universe seeking only peace and friendship, to teach if we are called upon, to be taught if we are fortunate. We know full well that our planet and all its inhabitants are but a small part of this immense universe that surrounds us, and it is with humility and hope that we take this step.
नमस्कार, विश्व शांति हो।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। हम ज़मीन के रहने वालों की तरफ से आपको खुश आमदीद कहते हैं।
धरती के वासियों की ओर से नमस्कार।
આ સંદેશો મળે वळतो संदेशो मोकलावशो.
नमस्कार. या पृथ्वीतील लोक तुम्हाला त्यांचे शुभविचार पाठवतात आणि त्यांची इच्छा आहे की तुम्ही या जन्मी धन्य हो.
నమస్తే. తెలుగు మాట్లాడే జనముల నుంచి మా శుభాకాంక్షలు.
नमस्ते. कन्नडिगर परವಾಗಿ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು.
सब लोगों ने मारो राम राम पहुँचे, हमें अठे राजी खुशी हाँ, तुम्हां उठे राजी खुशी रह जाओ.
Hello from the children of planet Earth.
Hey friends, if you've liked this video, please give a thumbs up to this video. That would mean a lot of encouragement for us. And while you're on this page, do not forget to subscribe to our channel IntloQ and do hit the bell icon. That is very important. Do hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever we drop a video. So thank you very much for watching.